Good, sunny, gorgeous, glowing, beautiful, spectacular sunrise here in the greater Bloomington metropolitan area in central Illinois on this already hot, very early at 7 a.m. Central Time. It's already hot, very muggy and sticky. No fog today to keep the temperature slightly cooler for the first half of the day. So we're going to quickly rise from the low 70s to 72 right now, all the way up to near 90 by later on this afternoon, maybe the low 90s with very high humidity, dew points in the mid 60s, which is Florida-like dew points, very uncomfortable and sticky. And afternoon showers and thunderstorms with heavy downpours and flash flooding in isolated areas will again be possible. Now, I got a couple things for you. Right here in the background is the Dow Jones. And the Dow Jones is about to have a major collapse. This isn't a warning to all my subscribers because this will have a ripple effect through the rest of the economy and the bond market and crypto. And all the other stocks around the world. It'll cause a global stock market collapse, just like we had 13 months ago in March of 2020 with COVID. This is a very serious situation. That's another reason you have to prepare yourself against this with high quality dividend paying foreign companies that are going to benefit from the U.S. collapse. As I have also some gold and some silver, mining stocks to leverage your money. That is the best way you can go about leveraging your money right now, is buying high quality mining stocks with good balance sheets. And I've given you a couple of them. Fortuna Silver, a silver mining company, phenomenal company. If you want to lever your money up for a collapse that's coming, that's a phenomenal company to do it with. B2 Gold, another phenomenal company to do it with. First Majestic Silver, phenomenal company to do it with. Freeport Mining, phenomenal company to do it with. Barrick Gold, phenomenal company to do it with, right? What's a few more? Kinross Gold, phenomenal company to do it with. And all those companies pay a dividend. For the most part, one or two of those don't. But 99% of the companies I just gave to you pay a dividend of varying 1, 2, 3, 4%. So it's not a gamble or a speculation. It is, I guess, a speculation because you think the price is going to go up. But it's an investment in your asset class and category on your balance sheet because you're being paid a quality dividend just to hold the stock, right? Those are phenomenal companies, and those are just a few that I've named off for you. But real quick, the Dow Jones, because this will have a ripple effect across the world economy. Your major uptrending support in this rising wedge. And what do we know about rising wedges? Because we've had a ton of them in crypto. They're bearish reversal patterns, often assign the buyers. Remember this when I called Doge and the Bitcoin collapse, Bitcoin itself? Look how big this rising wedge is. You think the Bitcoin ones were absurd. Look at this. I mean, this is even more absurd. Look at this. I mean, this is sickening how absurd this is that nobody sees this. Again, you have a rising wedge. I'm going to pull out my industry exclusive and YouTube made famous perching tool. And we're going to perch. Look at this. We're going to perch all the way at the top of this rising wedge. Look at this rising wedge. Bigger at the base, smaller at the top. Look at this. Here's what's going on here. A rising wedge, as we know, is a bearish reversal pattern. Often you see a rounding top, as we do here, a sign that the buyers or the bulls are being exhausted and the sellers or the bears are taking over the market and the price is going to come down, right? That's what's going to happen. You're going to have multiple stops on the way, but just like here, you had a huge flush and then the federal government and the Fed printed more money than they ever have combined in a day to prop this up. But you can see it's waning. And if you look at individual stocks on the stock market, they're all in the shitter. The major indexes are up here, but most stocks that people own fucking way down there. You know, so jabroni, again, the new jabronis are being formed in the United States stock market right now. Jabroni. All fucking everything you see up here is jabronis. From here to there is a jabroni. right? Because this thing is going to have a huge flush. And when it flushes and breaks this 34,465 uptrending support, you're going to get a catastrophic collapse that looks like that, but much worse. So if it broke it and started here, you're probably going from here to the 200-day moving average immediately in an immediate flush. And you would have circuit breakers, mass panic, media not understanding what's going on. And it's only getting you back to $27,000. Then you'll have some trading, and then you're going to have another collapse because you're coming way down here to start. But as soon as this thing really starts to unravel, you're coming way down here, and you're coming way down there in the U.S. stock market. But on the first move down, we're going to 25 in a blink of an eye, right? As this, within a week, you'll go from 35, 36, 40, wherever falls out of that rising wedge to 25 essentially overnight. Then you could trade back to 29 as upper resistance. We're already setting the stage for you. And then you got lower support down here. So you guys can see and be 2 steps ahead of the criminal gangsters, right? That's what I'm doing for you. Then you got lower support at 22,000, right? And you would trade there for a minute, and then you would collapse even farther down. And once this thing unravels, I could see a Dow Jones. Let's clone a target so there's no mistake. And then I got important things to talk about. Clone. I could see the Dow Jones way down. Just like they overshoot on the way up, they overshoot on the way down. Oh yeah. Dow Jones, baby, $16,000. That's a 65% collapse, and that would just be the start of things, right? And then they would try massive inflation, and yes, they could make the Dow Jones run away on paper, but in purchasing power, when you go to buy homes and gas and food and energy, etc., or gold, when you compare it to, the dollar is going to be collapsing, right? Even though the stock price, look at Venezuela. If you think the stock price going up is great, Venezuela has the hottest stock market in the world by a factor of 1,000 the last 8 years. The only problem is, you'd say, Vincenzo, why don't we just turn our U.S. dollars into Bolivians, the Venezuelan currency, and buy the Venezuelan stock market, let it go up for a week, and then cash out? Well, my subscriber, that's a great question, because the one thing that starts happening when you have something like what's going on with the Bolivian and Venezuela is inflation, that their local currency is devaluing so great at, say, a factor of 100, to make it simple, a day. So they're losing 100 times purchasing power a day. Yes, the stock market's going up 85 times a day, right? But when you sell it, you're losing 100 times a day and multiplying every day. So today you're losing 100 times purchasing power. Tomorrow you're losing 200 times purchasing power. The next day you're losing 400 times purchasing power. Yes, the stock market in Venezuela might go up, and now next month you're making 1,000% a day in the Venezuelan stock market. Sounds great, right? You started with 6 Bolivian, and now you got 6 trillion Bolivian. Well, the only problem is the value of that dollar or your Bolivians when you sell it is losing 1,000,000% a day. They're using it as toilet paper. You can't buy products with it because you need $1 trillion, 1 trillion Bolivians to buy one slice of bread now, right? You're fucked. And that's what's going to go on. That's your 2 choices you got in the U.S. Either they just let this shit roll over on itself and interest rates soar, right, from 0 to 5 or 10%, and 10-year treasuries are sitting at 10 or 15%, right? And they let this thing restructure. Yeah, it's going to be a disaster. And a lot of people are going to go broke, lose their jobs, homeless, and all this shit. But on the flip side, as the decades go on, you might have a harsh decade or a decade and a half, but at least your children will have a solid fundamental start with a growing economy that's based on savings and production, and we start producing things to support our consumption, right? And we become more of a production-based society instead of a consumption-based society, right? And they'll have a solid 30-year outlook of strong growth, strong dollar growth, so meaning purchasing power of the dollar will go up, which means their standard of living will rise considerably, and their hours and time they got to spend to make money will go down, and they have more time for leisure. Unlike what we have now, we have no time for leisure. We have excessive work hours because we need them, or we can't pay the bills and save money. right? We're getting fucking fleece heisted and shysted. And that brings me to my next point. Let me think. I just lost train of thought, though, when I started with the Dow.